Let us always meet each other with smile, for the smile is the beginning of love. Joy is prayer, joy is strength, joy is love, joy is a net of love by which you can catch souls. Mother Teresa. Love begins by taking care of the closest ones, the ones at home. Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty. If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. Love is a fruit in season at all times, and within reach of every hand. We think sometimes that poverty is only being hungry, naked and homeless. The poverty of being unwanted, unloved and uncared for is the greatest poverty. We must start in our own homes to remedy this kind of poverty. Mother Teresa. Peace begins with a smile. Love begins at home, and it is not how much we do, but how much love we put in that action. Intense love does not measure, it just gives. Let us touch the dying, the poor, the lonely and the unwanted according to the graces we have received, and let us not be ashamed or slow to do the humble work. Mother Teresa. Each one of them is Jesus in disguise. I want you to be concerned about your next-door neighbor. Do you know your next-door neighbor? Words which do not give the light of Christ increase the darkness. I try to give to the poor people for love what the rich could get for money. No, I wouldn't touch a leper for 1,000 pounds, yet I willingly cure him for the love of God. Mother Teresa. Many people mistake our work for our vocation. Our vocation is the love of Jesus. Even the rich are hungry for love, for being cared for being wanted, for having someone to call their own. Mother Teresa, our life of poverty is as necessary as the work itself. Only in heaven will we see how much we owe to the poor for helping us to love God better because of them. We need to find God, and He cannot be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass grows in silence. See the stars, the moon and the sun, how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch souls. Mother Teresa, spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. Be faithful in small things because it is in them that your strength lies. I have found the paradox, that if you love until it hurts, there can be no more hurt, only more love. Mother Teresa. If you can't feed 100 people, then feed just one. We shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do. We ourselves feel that what we are doing is just a drop in the ocean. But the ocean would be less because of that missing drop. Mother Teresa. The greatest destroyer of peace is abortion, because if a mother can kill her own child, what is left for me to kill you and you to kill me? There is nothing between. Mother Teresa. The hunger for love is much more difficult to remove than the hunger for bread. Being unwanted, unloved, uncared for, forgotten by everybody, I think that is a much greater hunger, a much greater poverty than the person who has nothing to eat. If you want a love message to be heard, it has got to be sent out. To keep a lamp burning, we have to keep putting oil in it. Mother Teresa. There must be a reason why some people can afford to live well. They must have worked for it. I only feel angry when I see waste. When I see people throwing away things that we could use. One of the greatest diseases is to be nobody to anybody. The biggest disease today is not leprosy or tuberculosis, but rather the feeling of being unwanted. Let us not be satisfied with just giving money. Money is not enough. Money can be got, but they need your hearts to love them. So, spread your love everywhere you go. There is always the danger that we may just do the work for the sake of the work. This is where the respect and the love and the devotion come in, that we do it to God, to Christ, and that's why we try to do it as beautifully as possible. Mother Teresa. Let us more and more insist on raising funds of love, of kindness, of understanding, of peace. Money will come if we seek first the kingdom of God, the rest will be given. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. Not all of us can do great things. But we can do small things with great love. I am not sure exactly what heaven will be like, but I know that when we die and it comes time for God to judge us, He will not ask, "How many good things have you done in your life?" Rather He will ask, "How much love did you put into what you did?" Do not think that love in order to be genuine has to be extraordinary. What we need is to love without getting tired. Be faithful in small things because it is in them that your strength lies. Let no one ever come to you without leaving better and happier. Be the living expression of God's kindness, kindness in your face, kindness in your eyes, kindness in your smile. Mother Teresa. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. At the end of life we will not be judged by how many diplomas we have received, how much money we have made, how many great things we have done. We will be judged by I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat, I was naked and you clothed me. I was homeless, and you took me in. God doesn't require us to succeed, He only requires that you try. Prayer is not asking. Prayer is putting oneself in the hands of God, at His disposition, and listening to His voice in the depth of our hearts. Mother Teresa. We know only too well that what we are doing is nothing more than a drop in the ocean. But if the drop were not there, the ocean would be missing something. The simple path. Silence is prayer. Prayer is faith. Faith is love. Love is service. The fruit of service is peace. God made the world for the delight of human beings. If we could see His goodness everywhere, His concern for us, His awareness of our needs, the phone call we've waited for, the ride we are offered, the letter in the mail, just the little things He does for us throughout the day. As we remember and notice His love for us, we just begin to fall in love with Him because He is so busy with us, you just can't resist Him. I believe there's no such thing as luck in life, it's God's love, it's His. A sacrifice to be real must cost, must hurt, and must empty ourselves. Give yourself fully to God. He will use you to accomplish great things on the condition that you believe much more in His love than in your weakness. Mother Teresa. Being unwanted, unloved, uncared for, forgotten by everybody, I think that is a much greater hunger, a much greater poverty than the person who has nothing to eat. Love is not patronizing and charity isn't about pity, it is about love. Charity and love are the same. With charity you give love, so don't just give money but reach out your hand instead. I feel the greatest destroyer of peace today is abortion, because it is a war against the child. A direct killing of the innocent child, murder by the mother herself. And if we can accept that a mother can kill even her own child, how can we tell other people not to kill one another? How do we persuade a woman not to have an abortion? As always, we must persuade her with love. And we remind ourselves that love means to be willing to give until it hurts. In the silence of the heart God speaks. If you face God in prayer and silence, God will speak to you. Then you will know that you are nothing. It is only when you realize your nothingness, your emptiness, that God can fill you with Himself. Souls of prayer are souls of great silence. In the West we have a tendency to be profit-oriented, where everything is measured according to the results and we get caught up in being more and more active to generate results. In the East, especially in India, I find that people are more content to just sit around under a banyan tree for half a day chatting to each other. We Westerners would probably call that wasting time. But there is value to it. Being with someone, listening without a clock and without anticipation of results, teaches us about love. The success of love is in the loving. Mother Teresa was born Agnes Gonjaboy, a Jew in Skopje, Macedonia, on August 26, 1910. Her family was of Albanian descent. At the age of 12, she felt strongly the call of God. She knew she had to be a missionary to spread the love of Christ. At the age of 18 she left her parental home in Skopje and joined the Sisters of Loreto, an Irish community of nuns with missions in India. After a few months training in Dublin she was sent to India, where on May 24, 1931, she took her initial vows as a nun. From 1931 to 1948 Mother Teresa taught at St. Mary's High School in Calcutta, but the suffering and poverty she glimpsed outside the convent walls made such a deep impression on her that in 1948 she received permission from her superiors to leave the convent school and devote herself to working among the poorest of the poor in the slums of Calcutta. Although she had no funds, she depended on divine providence, and started an open-air school for slum children. Soon she was joined by voluntary helpers, and financial support was also forthcoming. This made it possible for her to extend the scope of her work. On October 7, 1950, Mother Teresa received permission from the Holy See to start her own order, the Missionaries of Charity, whose primary task was to love and care for those persons nobody was prepared to look after. In 1965 the society became an international religious family by a decree of Pope Paul VI. Today the order comprises active and contemplative branches of sisters and brothers in many countries. In 1963 both the contemplative branch of the sisters and the active branch of the brothers was founded. In 1979 the contemplative branch of the brothers was added, and in 1984 the priest branch was established. The Society of Missionaries has spread all over the world, including the former Soviet Union and Eastern European countries. They provide effective help to the poorest of the poor in a number of countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and they undertake relief work in the wake of natural catastrophes such as floods, epidemics, and famine, and for refugees. The order also has houses in North America, Europe, and Australia, where they take care of the shut-ins, alcoholics, homeless, and AIDS sufferers. The missionaries of charity throughout the world are aided and assisted by co-workers who became an official international association on March 29, 1969. By the 1990s there were over 1 million co-workers in more than 40 countries. Along with the co-workers, the lay missionaries of charity try to follow Mother Teresa's spirit and charism in their families. Mother Teresa's work has been recognized and acclaimed throughout the world, and she has received a number of awards and distinctions, including the Pope John XXIII Peace Prize, 1971, and the Nehru Prize for her promotion of international peace and understanding, 1972. She also received the Balzan Prize, 1979, and the Templeton and Magsaysay Awards,